You've been told to max out your IRA, your individual retirement account, since you got your first real job. But have you ever wondered why there's a limit on how much you can contribute, or why people making six figures suddenly can't use them the same? And if you've ever wondered why IRA's contribution limits are so low, here's why. Individual retirement accounts weren't designed to build serious money for your older future self. They were designed to solve a problem most people don't even know existed. Now, they were designed for a specific purpose most people don't even know about. And understanding that purpose is the key to knowing how IRAs fit in your overall strategy. Hi, guys, I'm Nock, and I help people understand how their money works in different places that we park it. Now, growing up in an immigrant family, our financial strategy was simple: work harder, save money, repeat. No investment, no wealth building strategies, just endless cycle of working for money instead of making money work for us. And if you've been following my retirement plan series, you've learned how employer plans work. But here's where it gets interesting. Individual retirement accounts operate under completely different rules that most people never learn about until they're trying to contribute $50,000 a year and realize they can't. After talking to hundreds of people about money, I discovered something fascinating. The people who understand how their money actually behaves in different accounts always ends up with more money for their older future self. Now, you're watching this because you're not content with the average result, right? And you want to understand how this really works so you can make informed decisions about where your money goes. Here's what changed everything for me. Your money follows different rules depending on where you park it. And IRAs, they have some of the most interesting and limiting rules in the entire financial system. On this episode, we're asking what happens to your money when it moves into an individual retirement account. Now, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how traditional and Roth IRAs actually work, the real reason why they exist, how the two types differ, why income limits exist, what investment freedom really means, and what are the access rule and 5 limitations that IRAs have. Let's start with how the IRAs came about. It's 1974, and America has a massive problem that's about to affect millions of people, including possibly your parents or grandparents. Half of all American workers have zero retirement benefits beyond Social Security. They work for small businesses, they're self-employed, or they're part-time workers. Meanwhile, employees at big corporations get generous pension plans that guarantee income for life. Sounds familiar? Maybe you've been that person working somewhere with no retirement benefits, watching other people get 401k matches while you got, well, nothing. Congress realizes Social Security alone won't cut it, but here's their dilemma. They can't force every small businesses to set up expensive pension plans. That would bankrupt half of them. And they can't just boost Social Security without massive tax increases that would tank the economy. So they created a compromise. They say, let's allow individuals to save on their own with tax benefits. We'll give them incentives, but we need to control how much tax revenue we lose. Enter the individual retirement account. This is the traditional one in 1974. But from day one, Congress built in restrictions. There's income limits to prevent high earner from sheltering unlimited amounts. There's contribution limits to control government tax revenue loss, strict rules about when you can access your money. 23 years later, in 1997, they added the Roth IRA. Same contribution limits, same income restrictions, but you pay taxes up front instead of later. Here's the key insight. IRAs were never designed to maximize your money for your older future self. They were designed to provide basic retirement coverage while keeping government taxes loss predictable and controlled. Here's where it gets interesting. You have two completely different tax strategies. The traditional IRA, you get tax break now and pay taxes later when you withdraw, or Roth IRA, no tax break now, but tax-free forever. That's the fundamental differences. It's all about timing of when you pay taxes. I've got a full 10 minutes video breaking down all the traditional and Roth rules, withdrawal strategies, and how to choose between them. Check that out after this if you want the complete picture. For now, let's focus on something more important. Those income limits create different scenarios depending on your earnings. For 2025, the income limit rule for the Roth IRA state that if you're single making over $153,000, you can't contribute directly. Now, for the traditional IRA, if you make good money and you have an employer plan, you can't deduct contributions. So, the more successful you become, the fewer IRA benefits you get access to. This is why people making six-figure incomes often discover they're locked out of these strategies that everyone talks about. Let me show you how this plays out in real life with someone who might be in your exact situation. Meet Sarah. She's 32, single, making $165,000 as a software engineer. She's doing well financially and wants to save aggressively for her future self. At first glance, Sarah's high income seems to block her retirement options. She can't contribute directly to a Roth IRA because she earns too much and she can't deduct traditional IRA contributions since she has a 401k at work and her income exceeds the limit. But Sarah discovered the backdoor Roth IRA strategy. Think of it like this. Sarah couldn't walk through the front door of the Roth IRA house because she makes too much money. But she could walk into the traditional IRA house and then immediately walk through the connecting door to the Roth IRA house. Here's exactly what she did. Sarah contributed $7,000 to a traditional IRA with after-tax dollars getting no tax deduction. The next day, she converted that traditional IRA to a Roth IRA. Since she already paid taxes on that $7,000, she owed no additional taxes on the conversion. As a result, Sarah now has $7,000 in a Roth IRA that will grow tax-free forever, even though she was too rich to contribute directly. Now, I've got a fun fact for you. The higher your income, the fewer IRS benefits you get. It's how the system was designed, whether you have a 401k, 403b, 457b, or TSB, or any workplace retirement plan. The same income limits apply for the traditional IRA deductions. This affects everyone from corporate workers to teacher, government employees to nonprofit worker. But here's the thing. It's almost like Uncle Sam is whispering in your ear. When the front door is locked, find another way in. The government created these income restrictions with one hand, but left this back door wide open with the other hand. Well, they know exactly what's happening. People building serious wealth for their future work around this by using backdoor Roth conversion strategies, alternative investment vehicles outside of the IRA system, and business structures that provide more control. Remember, income limits weren't created to be fair. They were created to limit how much tax revenue government gives up while still giving smart people a way to access the same benefits. Since you now understand the strategy, you're one smart cookie, aren't you? So let's look at the investment universe. Instead of being limited to 10 to 20 funds in your 401k, you can now choose from thousands of mutual funds and ETFs, individual stocks and bonds, real estate investment trusts, international investment, and even alternative investment through self-directed IRAs. This means you can build a truly diversified portfolio tailored to your specific goals and risk tolerance. Rather than being stuck with whatever your HR department decided to offer, you go from having a handful of mediocre options to having access to the entire investment marketplace. And you can select ultra low cost providers like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab instead of being stuck with whatever high fee provider your employer chose. Remember those $580,000 in lifetime fees we discussed with employers' plan? With the IRAs, you can get expense ratio as low as 0.03% on broad market index fund. That's the difference between paying hundreds of thousands in fees versus a few thousand over your lifetime. If you don't remember those numbers or haven't watched my employer plan videos yet, go ahead and click on one of those videos to see exactly how those fees add up. I organize them based on the specific plans offered through your work, whether you have a 401k, 403b, TSB, or 457b. so you can see the real impact on your situation. I'll link them down below for easy access. So thank me later when you see how much money you're potentially leaving on the table. Now, let's talk about the trade off. All this freedom means all the decisions are on you. No automatic contributions, no employer matching, no plan administrator managing things. You're in complete control, which means you're completely responsible. This is actually perfect for people who want control over their money and understand that more options require more knowledge. Now, IRAs give you more flexibility than employer plans, but with specific rules you need to understand. Let's say you have a traditional IRA and life happens. You need money before age 59 and a half. Normally, you'd face that same 10% penalty that you get with 401ks. But here's where it gets interesting. The IRS has carved out exceptions for real life situation. Now, if you're buying your first home, congratulations, you can pull out $10,000 penalty free. It's a lifetime limit, but it's there when you need it. Now, if your kids need money for college, you can tap in your traditional IRA for qualified educational expenses without that 10% hit. And the government recognizes that life doesn't wait until you're 59 and a half. But here's what you can't avoid. When you turn 73, the government basically says, hey, party's over. They force you to start taking required minimum distribution, whether you need the money or not. They've waited long enough for their tax revenue. Now, here's where the Roth IRA story gets really interesting. Let's say you've put $30,000 over several years. That money, you can take it out tomorrow if you want to. No penalties, no taxes, no questions asked. You already paid taxes on it going in, so the IRS is done with that money. The growth you've earned, that's locked up until you're 59 and a half, and the account is at least 5 years old. But once you hit those marks, even the growth comes out completely tax-free. Here's the beautiful part. When you're 80 and you don't need the money, your Roth IRA just keeps growing. No required distributions ever. You can let that tax-free growth compound indefinitely. Here's an example for you. You contribute $6,000 annually to a Roth IRA for 5 years. That's $30,000 in total. It grows to $45,000. Now you can withdraw your $30,000 in contribution anytime without taxes or penalties. The $15,000 growth stays invested until you're 59 and a half, then it comes out tax-free. This gives you more liquidity than your 401k while still providing long-term growth potential for your older future self. So IRAs do exactly what they were designed to do, provide individual retirement savings with tax benefits and government control. What they provide well is the investment freedom, tax advantages if you qualify, flexible access rule, and no employer dependency. But here are 5 gaps that they can't fill. Gap number 1 is the income restriction. The more successful you become, the fewer benefits you get. High earners either can't contribute to Roth IRAs at all, or they lose the tax deduction on traditional IRAs. It's like getting penalized for doing well financially. Gap number 2 is the low contribution caps. You can only put $7,000 a year in 2025 and compare that to $23,500 for the 401k. Now, if you're serious about building wealth, $7,000 annually just isn't enough to move the needle. And gap number 3, tax timing uncertainty. With traditional IRAs, you're making a bet that tax rates will be lower when you retire. But what if they're higher? You could end up paying more in taxes later than you save today. Gap number 4 is solo funding. There's no employer matching here. Every dollar that goes in comes out of your pocket. You're funding this entirely on your own. Gap number 5, market exposure. Your money is fully exposed to market volatility. When the market drops, your account drops with it. There's no principal protection whatsoever. However, these gaps create an opportunity for additional retirement strategies to exist. Now, if you're building serious money for your older future self, you need strategies that address these gaps and eliminate the 3 biggest wealth destroyers. So what are the 3 biggest wealth destroyers? It is risk, fees, and taxes. And if you want to build more than what these 1974 rules allow, you need additional strategies that eliminate risk, fees, and taxes while giving you more control. Because truth be told, those who are in control of their money will be in control of their future. You now understand something that most people never learn. IRAs have built-in limitations that can restrict your ability to build serious money for your older future self. And the question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? You can keep following the standard advice everyone gets, or you can explore strategies designed for people who want more control and better results. I specialize in helping people eliminate risk, fees, and taxes in the way that they park and save their money. So it pretty much addresses exactly the gaps we just discussed. Now, if you're ready to see how this can possibly apply to your specific situation, click the link below to fill out a quick questionnaire and schedule a brief 15 minutes conversation with me. I'll ask you about your goals and your current strategies to determine if what I specialize in can even apply to your situation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.